In this episode, we will look at the stealth-like or covert operations of what is commonly called the Masons, or simply Masonry. Are they just men in weird suits, funny beards, and weird hand signals? Or do they really have a hand in controlling the world behind the scenes? Let's find out. Freemasons or Masonry consists of organisations that trace their origins to stonemasons, which from the end of the 14th century regulated the qualifications of stonemasons and their interaction with authorities and clients. There are 3 degrees of Freemasonry. 1. Apprentice. 2. Journeyman or fellowcraft, and then Master Mason. The highest rank is what is called a 33-degree Mason. The candidate of these 3 degrees is progressively taught the meanings of the symbols of Freemasonry and entrusted with grips, signs, and words to signify to other members that he has been so initiated. Members of these organisations are known as Freemasons or Masons. The basic local organisational unit of Freemasonry is the Lodge, which can be found in most cities and towns throughout the Western world. In fact, I'd make a bet there's one where you live right now. Just look for this sign, the square and compass. The lodges are usually supervised and governed at the regional level by a Grand Lodge. There is no international worldwide Grand Lodge that supervises all of Masonry, as each Grand Lodge is independent, and they do not necessarily recognise each other as being legitimate. However, they do recognise signs between each other, the members that is, and this can range from presidents to priests as seen here. Freemasonry insists that a volume of scripture is open in a working lodge, that every member profess belief in a supreme being, that no women are admitted, and that the discussion of religion in politics is banned. Sounds like a secret school. Illuminati. However, the Freemasons have experienced up and down popularity throughout the last few hundred years, like that of Adam Weishaupt when he instigated the original Illuminati. The Freemasons also have some other common grounds with the Illuminati, in that they were both banned in the late 1700s, but both somehow managed to keep going, and by the 1900s both were having second winds per se. One Mason was Albert Pike. The story goes he was the head of Freemasonry in the 1900s, and that he wrote a book called Morals and Dogma, which spells out the regulations of being a Freemason. There is a passage that is recited over and over by conspiracy enthusiasts that reveals that the God of Freemasonry is none other than Lucifer himself. The quote goes, "That which we must say to the world is that we worship a God, but it is the God that one adores without superstition. To you, Sovereign Grand Inspectors General, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion should be, by all of us initiates of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai and his priests calumniate him? Yes, Lucifer is God, and unfortunately Adonai is also God. For the eternal law is that there is no light without shade, no beauty without ugliness, no white without black. For the absolute can only exist as 2 gods, darkness being necessary for light to serve as its foil, as the pedestal is necessary to the statue, and the brake to the locomotive. Thus, the doctrine of Satanism is a heresy, and the true and pure philosophical religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of Adonai, but Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil. There are arguments to the validity and actual existence of this abstract from Pike. However, it did set the scene for the 20th century. We also know that Freemasons are bound by oaths. Some of these oaths become more darker as the Mason rises within the ranks. These are carried by Masons who have achieved the level of what is called the Scottish or York rites, after the 33 degrees have been achieved. As a Mason advances by degrees through either the York or Scottish rites, they are slowly indoctrinated further into deism and ultimately into Luciferianism. In both the York and Scottish rites, the Royal Arch degree is where the Mason makes the following oath. I will aid and assist a companion Royal Arch Mason when engaged in any difficulty, and espouse his cause so far as to extricate him from the same, if within my power, whether he be right or wrong. This includes any criminal act, including murder or treason. Masons who reach the Royal Arch degree also swear to promote and vote for any fellow Mason of that degree before any other of equal qualifications. Members of the Royal Arch degree can be found throughout the justice system, serving as judges, lawyers and police officers. This means that a Royal Arch Mason can expect favourable treatment by the courts should he ever find himself in trouble.
How convenient. Still, this is the ruling class at work.
Another 33 degree Mason and leading authority on Freemasonry was Manly P. Hall. In his book, The Lost Keys of Freemasonry, he wrote, "When the Mason learns the key to the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of the living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. The seething energies of Lucifer are in his hands, and before he may step onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly apply energy."
Sounds like wizardry or wizard making, or simply grown-up Harry Potters.
These are just a couple of examples to show that Freemasonry is Luciferian at the highest levels. Masonry is intimately tied to a number of other secret societies through overlapping memberships. These other secret societies include, but are not limited to, the Illuminati, Order of the Garter, Knights of Malta, Opus Dei, Council of Foreign Relations, Bilderbergers, Trilateral Commission, Knights of Columbus, Skull and Bones, Shriners, Rosicrucians, Theosophists, Golden Dawn, Ordo Templi Orientis, Church of Satan, Temple of Set. These secret societies each have their own internal structures, doctrines and areas of influence, with some being more politically orientated while others are more mystical theological, but they all serve the same Luciferian New World Order agenda.
So that's a little bit on the Masons and their modus operandi, or simply how they work. But how does this affect you?
There are specific and very visual signs to look out for. It's kind of like the Mason's watermark or trademark on anything they control, especially TV, movie, political and pop personalities. Most specifically, the checkered floor symbolism, the black and white duality, also seen within their lodges and cathedrals throughout the world. Then we come to the Masonic Royal Arch and its two pillars. The arch represents the union of the two pillars, which are symbols of the opposition within man, which according to the Masons must be unified in order to reach higher consciousness. The opposites are male and female, active and passive, the material or spiritual, the yin and the yang, the square and compass, the hexagram, which are made up of two opposing triangles. There are usually horoscope symbolisms surrounding the arches, representing cyclical ages with man as centerpiece. For example, we have the age of Pisces, the two fish, which by and large represents the age of Jesus, and Christianity is usually denoted by the symbol of the fish. Then we have the age of Aquarius, which is understood to be the beginning of the year 2000, Aquarius being the water bearer. In some circles, the Twin Towers destruction of 9/11 is all about the two pillars of Masonry as the guiding hand, and that they were signalling the ending of an age. It is also believed in these circles that the age of Aquarius was brought about by the Twin Towers to bring about the New World Order.
It must be said the Masons are ruled by a world of convoluted handshakes, with a succession of need-to-know rights and regulations, all in the name of protection for the interests of its members, like their hand signs undoubtedly suggest. They really are a hidden hand in our society. Still, at the essence of its understanding, men-only understanding, is that it's man's understanding, not God's. Their undoubted belief in that Lucifer is God is a little misguided. Still, they penetrate the very fabric of society. In the next episode, we will look at the secrets of Kabbalism, or the Cabal, closely associated. So stay tuned and remember, the truth will set you free.